Right. I don't know. So yeah, parents asked me to talk, and I didn't really have anything to talk about, but I somehow was able to think of something to talk for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. Alright, so I'm Bryan. I'm the resident cameraman for the Philippine Movie Users Group, and I am a junior developer. In third year at Illogical. I'm surprised, and I watched the dishes. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about software development. So this is a post-mortem retrospective on what happened last Saturday. Last Sunday there was a hackathon, and well, I had the time, so I joined it, and I didn't learn a lot of new things because mostly I just relearned everything that I experienced in the past 11 years of software development. So all of that, a lot of those lessons that I learned in the past decade came back again when I went to this hackathon. So the hackathon was slightly different from your usual hackathon. Usually in the hackathons they give you a theme, so you have the creative freedom. This one was a lot shorter, just only 12 hours long. So instead of giving us a theme, they gave us this. This is a paraphrase. I didn't take a picture of the requirements, but basically what they asked us to do was to build a system that pairs disciples and masters. The disciple can request for a chat, and this gives a push notification to all masters. So any master can accept that request, and when that request is accepted, they begin the chat. And if a master accepts, but there is a disciple that sent the request is already paired with another master, other disciples may also be waiting in line. So the next disciple in the queue will be paired with the master instead. So yeah, it's essentially a chat roulette style or similar system that you just have to do in 12 hours. Bonus points if you have mobile UI or if you do additional features aside from this one. So just think about it. Anyway, the start time was 9:30. It was 12 hours, but it was reduced to 8 p.m. because they realized that they have to judge. They have to set aside some time to judge. So they cut it down to 10 hours, 10.5 hours, and the judging was 8 to 9:30. So yeah, just think about this, how you would do this on your end. I'm going to do the set up the demo and just
it started at 9:30 a.m.
Yes. So 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning. But there was food, there was beer anyway, so I'm just going to double check if my demo are okay. Anyway, I think you have enough time to think about how you do it. So this is how I did it. So to give you a...
Did you work solo or?
You can work as a pair, but choose to work solo because there's bonus points for working solo. Anyway, so I'm just going to show the history. And this was essentially the history. You'll see that the first commit was again 10:07. And ignore those first. So first point I'm going to point out was I did my first commit at 10:07. The hackathon started at 9:30, but the first time I touched the code was around 10:05. Because again, software development, you don't have to design everything first, but at least you have a good idea what you have to do. Especially in this situation where I only have 10.5 hours, I have to prioritize what I need to do and how would I cut the features and attack the features that I need to code. and always have the end in mind. I think that's the main problem with a lot of the competitors, other competitors, was they just thought, hey, we need to make a chat room. So first things first, I'm going to Google how to do WebSockets, how to do chat systems, and so on. But they didn't really have that in mind. They didn't think that you don't really need a full-fledged push notification system that is Facebook scale or whatever. Just have to think that in the end you have around 5 minutes to present whatever you do, and you don't really need to tell them that, hey, I use this really great framework that allows 10,000 people to connect on my laptop. You don't need to do that. So prioritize your features and always note that, again, you only have around 5 minutes to present, and what can you present in that time span. And one thing that I really saved a lot of my time was that I did everything that I could beforehand that was within the rules. Of course, I can't just find the chat system online and present it. But instead, since my default system is in Rails, I just got one of my templates. Let's look at it. So in Rails template, just if you want to create your Rails app with everything installed, your usual stuff like Bootstrap, Rails admin, you can do that with Rails templates. Just Rails template, I did this the night before. I added kitchen sink.rb. So all of the gems that I might need, that I won't really need most of it. Meta tags, they won't open Facebook with it. Gmaps for Rails, maybe the problem was to do geolocation or even search kick or text search or whatever, because I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. So to set up my base application, I just had to type rails.new, then database, then -m, the link to the template. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on the design, but in the actual first commit, it's not that much. So they use the simple files. All those files were just generated, even this Kaminari and device. I think I put that also in the template. Let's look. Well, anyway, all those steps is there. So next, so by 11:06, in just 1 hour, I already did the basic chat. And that basic chat is so basic that it's not really a chat. It's actually just a scaffold. I should be able to show you.
Yeah, sure. Just get a chair.
I didn't push it on GitHub. So there's really no chat. So there's just your data model. You've got your master, disciple. There's a chat room, and you just no, that's browse code. And they just create messages, and the messages that they did would just be displayed. So that would be, so there's a chat room, go to the chat room, and create chat. So this is just to show the chat room, show the messages, and I think there's not, so that was the test. So this is just to create the message. If it's the master, you have to assign that the message is from the master, message to disciple, then save, and redirect to the chat room and just display it. So the chat room is, yeah, just the show page. There's really nothing yet here, but at least the basic model is already done, which is like this. So you got your master, disciple, you got your chat request in your chat room, and your messages. I didn't do the single user polymorphic because again, I thought about it. I've got only 10 hours, and usually when you do that in real life, it's going to take you. When you put polymorphic in your models, it's automatically 2-3 hours of work to just debug certain things. So there's a master disciple, so okay, just create a master and disciple and link them together. And no polymorphic. And unfortunately, even though this looks as simple as possible, your initial data model will always be wrong. So I thought that I needed a chat request model for, again, you have a chat request, it has to be accepted, it has to be pending, that's started and accepted. But as I was coding, I realized that I could put all of that status in the chat room. So when a disciple requests for a chat, he creates a chat, and that chat is pending. So the request is actually the chat room. And when a master comes in, that's the only time when the chat room becomes active. So yeah, you can design for 30 minutes and realize that you don't really need a table. And that's reality. So again, that was basic chat that didn't really do any chatting. But in a couple of minutes, I was able to do a JS-powered chat. You can think it's WebSockets or long polling, but in reality it's just polling. Because again, I don't have time to debug all of that. I'm just going to show you the code for that. And it might be funny if you see this and you've been coding JavaScript in the past. So there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Complement the rate, and user will get script. And it will get the messages from the database and will replace the current messages. So there.
It's the optimal way of that.
Again, no one cares. And if you're going to send a chat, before it was just a form and it submits, I just added remote through and put a handler for the format data. And it does what you need to do. So when you create, it just resets the form. So that's that. No WebSockets, no long polling, no whatever. That's that. So, and also it's from a book that I used to teach students in But again, and that was, again, I mentioned it before, I was looking at other people, they were Googling how to do chatting, and why don't you just do polling? The judges won't even realize. You just use polling.
Do the judges need to check your code?
Yeah, they don't have time to check your code, but
Just
they have the opportunity to check the application. So, but they have Luis was one of the judges, so yeah, there's a technical guy. There's a technical guy in the judging tool. So again, the point is, if I only have 10 hours, I'm going to spend 1 or 2 or even 3 hours debugging WebSockets. Why it isn't showing on the screen when in polling, if there's a problem, I can just look at the network and I can see the response. Okay, it's not changing because there was a problem with the job. Okay, no problem. Speaking of time, I guess that's one of the main points that I encountered because I didn't do WebSockets. That was the best thing that I decided. Speaking of time, by 11:58, I ended the chat. So the ending of the chat. So the chat starts, you can end the chat. So they can now request new, they can now accept new. And by 12:48, I've got the basic flow done. So the request, there's still no push notification, but there's a request. If the master refreshes the screen, they can see that okay, there's a request. They can join that chat room. But there's no push notifications. But yeah, I was able to do the basic flow that by 12:48 in just 3 hours. Then by 4:15, I spent 3 hours just to do the push notification by 4:15. And if you're wondering how the push notification works, let's just do a quick look at the push notification. It's not. It's more polling.
Yes, yes.
So if the disciple is waiting, check for the status of the page. And if the status is, where's the status of JS? JS. So check the status, and it changes. If you're in the front page, it's going to change the bottom to whatever the status is. So every second is going to change. Also in the master, I think the master hasn't been. I think the master is also doing it here. But again, the same thing. It's just polling and no fancy stuff. I think there's also an alert or confirm. Yeah. So this is one of the pop-up. So if the disciple is waiting and goes to another page, then a master accepts the chat. This will pop up on the master has completed the chat, and if yes, it just redirects to the chat. So very, very simple. Anyway, the point here is not that, but the point here is by 4:15 I already did everything that was required. And that is important because as software developers, you should be familiar with this code, in this popular code. The first 90% of the code accounts for the first 90% of the development time. And the remaining 10% of the code accounts for the other 90% of the development time. So ideally, my target time was 50%. So 3 p.m. I would be finished, but 4 p.m. is a good thing already compared to the other people. By 4 p.m. I was already testing it. I was looking around. They were just, I don't think they even added Bootstrap already to their apps because they haven't gotten the chat working. Anyway, by 4, I have a couple of more commits. I might not have time to show it, but I just added 2 more features and fixed some bugs and made it easier to make the flow better. So again, keep this in mind when there's time pressure. Always put some slack because estimation is hard. Anyway, so yeah, this is one of the things that I also did was I also took a lot of breaks. So I wasn't just in my table. I walked around. I spent even up to 15 minutes just to refresh myself. But and the other side of that is when they were saying that, oh, the food is here, it's lunch, or the snacks have arrived, the beer has arrived. I was in my flow, so I didn't take a break there. So I was the only one coding. They were eating because I was still in the flow. But when I was not in the flow, they were busy. I was the one out there eating and drinking beer. Anyway, the final commit was 7:55. It's just adding a well because they didn't even show that to the judges. So the last part would be the demo. It's I think the key thing in my hackathon was that I always kept the demo in mind. So again, 5 minutes for the demo, and you have to demo the whole process, the requesting and the requesting, setting, even the chatting itself. I tried it, and you can do it. You can do it, but only in 3 minutes. And as we all know, if you're presenting in front, again, it's like the 1990 thing. You're doing it. You're practicing it. It's 3 minutes, but when you're doing it live, it's going to take 10 minutes. So yeah, I spent a bit of time tweaking, and I realized that the best way was to show it how it works. Instead of just having, okay, the judges come and you're in a laptop and you explain what you did and so on. I didn't do that. When the judges arrived, we were separate. When the judging was done, it was separate from the other people, so they don't know what was going to happen. So when it was my turn, okay, so it started to judge, I immediately opened the app and just did the demo. So I'm just going to do a quick demo of what it looked like after 10 hours. Alright, I've already signed in as a disciple. And let's show the master. So continue waiting. You can actually end the chat anytime so that it's going to stop. Oh, no. Holy! It's working. So request a chat. Give the chat now. Okay. So there's the chat. And again, this is all polling. But it works. And one of the other advantages that I did was I was the only one who tested and demoed on mobile devices. So I'm just going to try it right now. Hopefully I'm still connected. Alright, I'm just going to disconnect the master. And since this is Bootstrap, and I just used Bootswatch to make it not look like Bootstrap. So yeah, this is my, so yeah, so, okay, chat now. Okay, accept request, then type whatever. So it works, at least it works. Because one of the things I also noticed that if I'm going to demo it on my laptop and just alt tab, it's going to waste a lot of time. So I just got my iPad and gave it to one of the judges and did all the demoing to the thing. And yeah, that was, that's one of the good things. Again, always think of your users. Most of the time we just fall in love with our code and we don't realize that that isn't what the users want. But again, it's just again something to keep in mind. And again, that's it. Also, one last thing before I end. A lot of the features, a lot of the hours that I spent on the code and even other competitors were not shown in the demo because again, there's no time. For example, even this chat archive, I wasn't able to show this one. And one of the things is I wasn't able to show it properly was this interest. If the interest match, and there are a lot of disciples in the queue, they must match it. So if their interest is relationships and mobile, they will be matched with a disciple with a relationships and mobile. So again, it's part of what we do as developers. A lot of the things we do will be discarded anyway. So don't really fall in love with your code. Well, fall in love, but not be infatuated. Anyway, that's that. Thank you for listening. And have a great night.